Yo, YouTube, what's good? I'm with the amazing Benjetta, aka Miss Mother Motivation. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing
Let's
today?
go. I'm doing amazing. I'm doing amazing. So, for people that don't know, this is actually a part two of a client interview of how Benjetta has been able to successfully acquire more clients and book more consultations from the content that's been putting out. She's somebody that we originally did a part one, and while she had been seeing results, now that we actually did a full like on-site shoot with her. Right, we handled everything when it came to the preparation, the production, and the perfection of the content. She was actually able to get her first video that hit over 100,000 views. And how many views did you say you done in the last 30 days, Majetta?
I have my overall algorithm has hit 1 million views, but that particular video
Ooh.
for 204,000 video since
Mm,
May the 4th. That was since
yeah,
May the 4th.
yeah. So Majetta's cranking 1 million views a month. That's what that's what we are seeing. So yes, in
And
terms
we
of this
just
YouTube video,
over
yeah, yeah. That's true. People don't know that. Yeah, because your old page got shut down, right?
both of them. Yes.
Yeah. So
So thank
in
you.
this YouTube video, yeah, we're gonna be discussing some of the systems, stories, and strategies that went into now Vegeta getting even more results, getting even more people that are now seeing her page, and overall just growing as a result of the content. So yeah, Vegeta, let's dive into it. First question I really want to ask you is like, obviously we did the part one, right? But what would you say in between part one, that was around March, right? What would you say has been the biggest change that you've seen between March when we originally did the first interview to now near the end of May? Like, what changes have you seen in terms of, you know, your personal brand now that it's been like growing a
A
lot more?
lot of changes, like to the point where people call me
Appreciate you.
just to tell me, "Hey, I see your content. Keep going. Your content is fire." Like even down to how I position myself when talking to the camera. Also with your expertise, doing the videography by recording me, making sure that everything is clean and cut. Versus before I was doing them at home, so it wasn't as clean and cut, the lightning wasn't as great. So it's just been a tremendous change with your expertise,
Yeah.
and I'm thankful because once again it's getting more views and also I'm being able to, hit the algorithm more. So it's like amazing.
For sure. Yeah. And yeah, really break that down, right? Like, for people that, they might also be in your position, like let's really tell a story. So when you originally came on as a client, right? Like you were obviously we were doing things virtual, you were recording, right? Like on your own time. I was over here like handling over, seeing what you were recording, etc. What was some of the challenges you were facing when it came to like just recording your own content, right? And doing it, by yourself?
Oh man, it took me probably like an hour just to record like one or
Wow.
two videos. Yeah, because
Wow. Hour.
yeah, because I mean, as a
Mm-hmm.
perfectionist, you want to make sure that you're
What up?
angling your body correctly. You
You
want to
need me
make sure
open
that
it?
articulating the words correctly. You want to make sure that your content looks good because once it's edited and it's put
Facts.
out there, now that's a representation of you and your brand. So ever since
Mm-hmm.
then, I have been really focusing more on how, to present things, how to articulate things, and just making sure
Yeah.
that it's A1. So since then,
A1.
came through with a banger by being able to help me
Mm.
shoot some
Yeah.
in-person videos, which changed the
Yeah.
whole dynamics.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. And that's something that I'm really glad you hit on, right? Like when it comes to the the production of the content, like when you have to produce your own content, a lot of times if it's something that is not something that you do like every single day, right? Like me, like my
Mhm.
job is to make content, so I'm doing it multiple times a week. But if that's not you, you might spend up to an hour recording just one video, right? And now you think about, okay, people start to think like, okay, the more you have to just commit an hour to one video, they think to themselves as entrepreneurs, you're like, oh, I could have been on a consultation for an hour. I could have been analyzing somebody's credit profile. I could have been seeing somebody's. I could have been seeing what funding sequence someone has. That could have made me 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 on the back end of 1 hour, right? So it's a lot. It's a lot harder for people to see the long term vision for content when all they see is like the short term sacrifices they're having to making, right?
Yes.
So break it down, Benjetta. Like when we made that shift for you from going from like online to in person, like what's some of the biggest things that like the in person aspect really helped you out with, right? When we were able to integrate that.
A lot. The in person by you directing me on what to do, what to say, and if I'm, posturing holding my posture the correct way. Um, also being able to, get through the scripts quicker because when you
Yeah.
are exactly what needs to be done right away, when you are communicating exactly what needs to be said right away, I can, reciprocate that and then mimic the same thing. So it's much easier versus me trying to read it. I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, oh my God. Then I can come back and say it. So it positioned me way better in person versus just doing it on my own at home and having my son to record.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, here I got a little bit of background noise in the back. Let's excuse that. But no, I agree. I noticed for you, you hit a rhythm when we were in person, right? Because you mentioned an hour for one video. Within, we had a shoot, right? We were shooting from 5 to 8, and we knocked out 10 videos,
Yep.
right? 11, my fault, because we ended up doing the collab that hasn't even dropped yet, right? So you're speaking facts. So we were able to knock out, but just in terms of talking about credit, funding, your mentorship, we were able to knock out 10 videos in 3 hours, right? That
Mm-hmm.
same 10 videos, say, if you were to do it straight, that would have been 10 hours, right?
Yeah.
So pretty much being able to save 7 hours of recording and not just 7 hours of time that now you can spend 7 hours extra on consultations, serving your clients, building out systems, hiring VAs, training, managing your ads. Like you can do a lot of things that help you work on the business, not in the business, right? But then also break down when it comes to not just saving time, because at the end of the day, while time is extremely valuable, what's the other resource people care about? They want to make money, right? So when it came to like the content that was being put out, right? Break that down in terms of like, were you did you start to see a few more consultations come after we shot you up, edited the content started being posted? Like, what was it like in terms of you having that content turn into consultations for you? Break that down.
Oh man, yeah. So even people from my community that we're learning the same thing, they're asking me questions like, they want to know more about the content, who's doing my content, and then also, like just being more inquisitive about what I'm doing on this journey because basically I'm sharing, exposing my life at the same time while I'm doing the content. So they see a different background, they see me at the banks, they see me traveling more. So not only has this content, converted into clients and leads, but it's changing the whole dynamic of how my page look. It's making me look more professional. It makes me look more, credible, right? Because content speaks on your credibility too. So with that being said, I have a lot of individuals that are inquiring on the services, that are booking calls, musicians. It's amazing. So yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. So it sounds like the content, what it's done is because this is actually something I'm glad you said that too, Benjetta. You said that when it comes to you having consultations, you've been able to attract different types of clientele, right? People in the music space, creative space, and that's something I'm glad you said too. Because what I see a lot of times business owners they focus on is they want to reach like one specific person, but they don't think about like how broad and
I mean,
how big their brand can really be in terms of like your services, your same funding services. If you get somebody else 50,000 in business funding, that could create a whole another type of testimonial for you instead of
exactly.
it just being one person. Like, oh, I just helped real estate investors get funding, right?
Yeah.
Not,
No, and then that helps expand your niche.
yeah, it
Target
does.
So no, it's amazing because even though yeah, we can help real estate, that's my niche. I can help real estate investors get access to capital. No, it's hairstylists that need access to capital. It's
Yeah.
truck drivers that need access to
Yeah.
capital.
Yeah.
So other people that need access
Yeah.
that can also help them to invest into their marketing, their content.
Yeah.
So those are things that I take away with that because if I didn't have the right content, people probably wouldn't
Mhm.
take it as credible and then they wouldn't be willing to spend their hard earned money. But then
Mhm.
also that it wouldn't turn the content wouldn't
Yeah.
turn cash. So it's
Yeah.
factors that play a part in this to be able to grow your
Yeah.
brand. It's more
Yeah.
in your creativity.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. And that's something I'm glad you really honed in on, right? Like that's the second time I've heard you talk about how content has grown your credibility, right? Because I feel like what a lot of people they think about like how content can make them viral instead of how content can bring them more value, right? In terms of valuable clients, right? Like how it can add more value to what they're doing. Have you like what's been the difference between like people you've hopped on consultations with that now see your content, right? Like what's been that process? Have people like a little more warmer or what has it been like?
Exactly. They're more educated on what I do. They know that I understand about financing, funding,
Yeah.
banks,
Yeah.
and credit. So therefore, the more I educate them, the more they're like,
Mhm.
okay, she knows her stuff. She knows what she's talking about, and
Mhm.
she look good at what she's doing. Is very professional. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So having those leads be warmer, right? Like if it's I'm probably sure you've seen that the people that see your content, now that you have that credibility, you're building more trust, right? You got more authority on your page. It's a lot easier to have those people turn into clients now. Cause
yes,
yeah, like they
because
already
they
trust you.
already
They
know
like
that I know what I'm talking about. So they're hitting me up like credit fix,
mhm.
funding. Oh, you do this, so yeah,
Mhm.
they're already warm. They already know what I offer before
Mhm.
I even book a
Mhm.
call. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So, right, we talked about content to clients. Now, the other side, what you've seen, you got other people that it's not even just the clients you attract, but it's also the partners that you're around, right? Like you talk about people that's in the same mentorship as you. Now they're seeing your content. Like break that down in terms of like have you felt like that's added more to a potential offer for you that now you can bring to other people now that your content looks better?
Exactly. Yes. The reason why is because these people already have thousands and thousands of followers, and they hitting me up. Even though I have 100,000 followers, it's still you have
Yeah.
to position yourself. It's just like what I do. Funding. If a client has $1,000 and then this other client has 20,000, who's gonna be more credible? Who you gonna want to work with? Who's gonna be
Yeah.
willing? Really
Yeah.
listen in and tune in, the one who has the most money. So, with that being said, most individuals are willing to listen to me more because they see I have the knowledge and content. They see that I'm working with a credible individual. They see that my content is super professional versus when I was doing it on my own, it was just like
Yeah.
basic, just the
I
basic
feel
stuff.
you.
It turned up a notch. So, you can't leave me. You can't go nowhere.
Yeah. Facts. Facts. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I love that, right? And one thing about it is it's now that we had part one where you obviously had just gotten started with content. A lot of people started hitting you up. Now part two, you're saving out more time. You went from spending 10 hours to make 10 videos to spend 3 hours to make 10 videos, and then one out of those 10, how many views is that video at right now? Like the top one?
I think 204,000.
Ooh, 204?
More.
204? I thought it was at 100.
It
It's
went
at
up.
204?
I think so. If I'm not
Nah. Nah, this is I mean
207.
207. That's wicked.
2.
Nah, that's wicked. Okay. And that's been organic, right? Like have did you decide to throw some ads behind that?
I did throw a little something, something, but I
Mhm.
paused it because, like, if it's organically doing what it's doing, like, let me just
Mhm.
see what organic does. You don't need to
Mhm.
push it no more if it's already.
Yeah.
And when I take celebrities that's liking that, and
Wow.
I didn't even tell you I had I'm not even gonna say their name right now, but I had an A-list celebrity that's a TV celebrity that hit me
Wow.
DM.
A-list.
Yeah, A-list that hit me up in my DM saying that they wanted to get to know me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah. So
it wasn't like
content
a male or
credibility.
anything. It was a female who hit me up. And
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Keep it PG-13, right? No rated R. All right, cool. So I love that. I love that, Benjetta. So we are able to not only help you save time, right? 7 hours saved on producing 10 videos. One of the videos, so not just saving time, but also a lot more quality of content now that we're able to take you to different locations, direct you, right? Teach you exactly what to say, how to say it, and then handle the editing on the back end, make sure everything's good to go, give you the captions where you copy paste post, and then one of the posts is at 270,000 views right now. To end off the interview, right? What's something that you would tell maybe an entrepreneur that does funding, does credit, or does any type of services online? What would you tell them about your process working with me, if they're on the fence about taking their
yeah.
content to the next level?
It's important that we all invest into our brand, especially
Mm-hmm.
like if you look at bigger companies, what do? They offer commercials, and the commercials are professional, and they're basically educating,
That's
the
real.
what they want them to purchase. So it's really
Mm-hmm.
important for us to invest into the content that we're adding. Even if you do a mixture, you want to look presentable. You want to position yourself as knowledgeable in the industry, and then also with working with you,
Mm-hmm.
hey, before you even prejudge, go over there and do the trial. See how does
Yeah.
it you. And if someone is giving you a trial before they even charge you, that means that they're top tier, because most
Yeah.
companies just off the rip. So
Mm-hmm.
I really really highly suggest you. I have went through plenty of content creators, and it's different levels when it comes down to this type of knowledge and
Yeah.
expertise. So I would definitely, hey, my credit
Yeah.
827, so my word is credible.
Facts.
So that being
That's
said,
real.
I highly recommend
Woo.
Carson, because he's going to
Yeah.
put you in a position to not only just get you good content, but educate you along the journey.
Yeah.
Position yourself better, have better lighting,
Yeah.
have better equipment. So all of
Mm-hmm.
this matter when it comes down to growing your.
Yeah. 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 For sure. Yeah. Yeah. And that's something that I'm glad you mentioned that too, Benjetta, right? If somebody's on the fence, they see your results, they see you getting 1 million views in the last 30 days, they see you hitting 207,000 views organically off one video, right? Like they see you saving 7 hours to produce 10 videos that you now know are also really good quality videos. All that's cool, but somebody might think, what can I do for me? Like, can it happen for me? I'm glad you mentioned that about the trial, right? For people that don't know, before me and Benjetta locked in, I was perfectly fine with helping her prepare, produce, and perfect her content and giving her a trial video without her having to spend a dime, right? Now, this is the end of the interview. By the grace of God, we've been able to grow extremely quickly within the last 4 months of me originally working with Benjetta. I can only have that trial video offer for the first 3 people that end up clicking the link in the description for this video. So,
Yeah.
if you are one of those first 3 people and you use the code Benjetta that's already attached to the link, I'm 100% open and willing to make sure that your content is quality without you spending a dime up front. Um, but Benjetta, we gotta let them know that's only for the first 3 people, because
Only for the
it's
first three.
action
Because
takers are money
first of
makers.
all,
We can't, yeah.
value, I have watched you over these last 4 months with your value increasing. Not only
Yes,
investing into your brand, but
I appreciate
you
it.
have uh, great experts on the back end who's
Mhm,
helping you create something magnificent. It's totally
mhm,
different from just trying to do it all on your own. You have qualified experts who know exactly the
mhm.
captions, and I didn't even throw that in there. You provide the captions for us to basically
Yeah.
for us to duplicate. You also create
Mhm.
the scripts
Yeah.
for us. So that makes it more
Yeah.
streamlined versus us trying to figure everything out on our own,
Mhm.
because God
Yeah.
knows. You can use ChatGPT, but ChatGPT ain't gonna give it to you like Carson is. So
Yeah. It's only as
level
powerful as the user. Yeah.
exactly. So
Mhm.
y'all better
Yeah.
get A list. You ain't gonna be able to afford them no more. I'm glad I
Yeah.
got in.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Tap in, don't get locked out. If you are an entrepreneur watching this and you're somebody that would rather have the content fully done for you, like I said, it's only for the first three people that end up clicking the link in the description. That's not just marketing. That's not just scarcity. We legitimately have went from a 1,300 followers to over 43,000 within the last 55 days roughly. So we're growing extremely fast. So to make sure that we can give the best quality of service, we need to limit the spots. But if you're somebody you just want to know essentially how the content process works, you want to learn, you want to do things yourself, we do have a slot. We do have slots for consultations that you can learn the strategies I've used to help Benjetta grow her brand, help myself grow my brand. So we're gonna leave resources for everybody at the point that they're at. Everything will be in the description. But until then, Benjetta, I appreciate you for this client interview. Last words. What should they do if they're watching this right now? Right, based
You
off what
better,
happened to you.
you better go ahead and book that consultation so therefore you can educate it, build your content up,
Yeah,
therefore you can turn it into cash. Content,
facts.
let's get it.
Content to cash.
Let's
Yep.
get
Let's get
active.
it.
Don't
Let's get it. Let's get active. Yep. Yep. All right. Cool. If anybody's not getting active, hey, you just gonna have to get left in the past. Keep shining, everybody watching this, and I'll talk to you and see you on the next video. Let's get it.